Well, hello guys, and welcome to my very first episode of my vlog. I will be shooting this episode on my webcam with this little microphone right here. Cool little guy. But we'll not be doing that in the future. Don't know how many of these I'm going to be doing on my webcam. Want to be shooting on my Blackmagic camera that I actually have right here. Unfortunately, though, this lens, although it would appear to be a pretty wide lens, it's only a 28. And also on a crop sensor, this lens gets pretty tight, and the room I'm in, really not that big, so kind of hard to shoot on it. Plus, I want to light my stuff better. I keep looking down at my image. This is going to be weird, so yeah, I got to get used to that. So my plan for this is, take viewer questions. Leave your questions down below. Next week I'll answer them. This will be every Monday. I'm not going to be treating this so much as a journal, more as just, whatever. I'll be talking about new relevant things with Pokemon, of course. Probably won't be talking so much about my other YouTube channels. Those are, other channels. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to make today's episode about, since I don't really have any viewer questions to talk about. I decided I wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory as to who I am, what I do on this channel, and why the fuck you should even listen to me. So my name is Dan. I have been a filmmaker for a little while. I'm a film student, but still a filmmaker. Even if you are a student, you should never consider yourself not the thing you're studying. Like a drawer. You're not a drawing student, you're a drawer. You're a card player, and you're a card student, you're a card player. Dual Academy, all of you. I used to make movies in Windows Movie Maker when I was younger. I used to take like a little tiny, it was a photo camera, and it didn't even actually, I'm hitting the thing, it wasn't actually made for video, it just happened to record video that was in like 360p. I don't even know the proper aspect ratios at that small of a size, because just like I'd never even use it anymore, it's so outdated. But yeah, I would record on those, and I would make really terrible videos with my friends that would be in one shot. Much like this video. Yeah, it's a vlog. Of course it's going to be one shot. I then went to high school, got into film there. I actually decided, what I want to do as a career, so I got into it and did it as a career, but I don't actually make any money off of this. YouTube. I do actually have an editing job right now, but it's not like making me a whole lot of money. It's a college student editing job. As for Pokemon, my very first gaming device, I don't know if you'd really consider a Game Boy Color a console, but regardless, my first two games on that were Power Rangers Time Force for the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Silver. Excuse me. And that's how I got into it. Pokemon Silver was great. The thing about Pokemon Silver, though, was that I played it for like forever, but I only played like the first part of the game before you even got your starter officially. Like, I would take my starter and I'd go down the route, and before I used to try to get out of New Barktown. I didn't even know how to do that because I wasn't reading any of the dialogue. I don't even think I was that good of a reader at that point. Like, it wasn't that palatable to me. And so, like, for years, I couldn't get out of New Barktown. I couldn't understand why this girl was, whenever I would walk up to walk out of the town, this girl would just keep dragging me back to the middle of the town. And that kind of speaks to Pokemon's failing game designs at some points. Even though I think Pokemon Silver is like one of the best designed Pokemon games. And then I eventually got into it. And then I got up to the Victory Road. And then I got stuck in there because I left my Typhlosion in the daycare. And for years I was walking around in Victory Road. Oh, no. And then I got out of Victory Road. I was actually able to get out of Victory Road. But then I went to the Dark Cave that's on like the very first route. Dark Tunnel? Is it called Rock Tunnel maybe? Is it Rock Tunnel? I don't know. I got stuck in there. I didn't take a Pokemon with Flash, so I didn't know where I was. And you need Flash to navigate that place. And I got stuck and I couldn't get out of there. So for years I was stuck in there. And one day I finally picked up my Game Boy because obviously I gave up. I wasn't trying literally for years to try to get out of that place. I was able to manage to get myself out of there. And this is probably like in the 7th or 8th grade, I actually beat that game. I had already beaten many other Pokemon games at that point. But that's how I actually beat that game. I never actually beat Red, though. I got up to Red, got stuck on him, thought he was hard as fuck, and just decided not to. Even at that point, I still was like one of those players that you don't use status moves. You either have Flamethrower, Flame Wheel, Ember, and Return on your Typhlosion, or else it's bullshit. Or if you had an action replay like me, you also had Sacred Fire on your Typhlosion. But who would ever do that? Nobody, not me. Even though I just said it would be me. I started this channel because I happen to be pretty knowledgeable in Pokemon, honestly. This channel's pretty ironic, you know? I'm saying Pokemon is fun, but I constantly make fun of the game. But I do really like the game, even though I don't think it's a very well-designed game. It's very nostalgic to me, and my 80% of my life was spent playing Pokemon, so I know like everything about it. And I think one of the cool things about Pokemon is that, you know, realistically, it gets you talking to people. You know, it's like, it's one of those games where, you know, it's designed literally around social contact, and that's something that really helps me out, you know? Let's get personal, everybody. Let's get super personal. I've never really been that good of a person socially. It really helped me out, you know? It really helped me to learn to talk to people, and to just as an exercise for anxiety, you know? Making Pokemon sets and stuff like that really, you know, zens you out. Can help you really de-stress. You know, it's just stuff like that I think Pokemon, even though it's not technically a really well-designed game design-wise, it's still like a really good tool for life stuff, and I think it's extremely underrated in that regard, and that's why I really like it. And I really like sharing that with people too, because, you know, I like people, and I'm terrible at dealing with them, but I still like them because I'm such a cheesy person, man. I also hate people sometimes, but I like them. I'm looking at my own face on the screen now. It looks fucking terrifying. Screen there, you. Kratos Soldier Boy, oh, why did you be cranky watching me roll? I don't know, so that's, I guess this is kind of a shorter episode than usual, but like, you know, just give me shit to talk about. I will literally answer anything in this, except for like what my social security number is, because if I do answer that, I'm just gonna lie and tell you it's like 1 or something, so you know. Yeah, give me suggestions in the comments. I have to actually record my vlog for next week and the week after, kind of early this time. So when you give me your suggestions, I'm going to be taking them kind of earlier than I normally would later on, just because I do need to record these kind of early in the coming week. So make sure you get them to me, like, you know, as soon as you can, and I'll try to use them. If I don't get any, since, you know, I live in a very cold and dark and lonely YouTube channel with only 50 subscribers, then I'll just babble on about some other shit about my life, because, you know, whatever. I'll cram my own nonsense down your throats until you all hate me and want to share me on your social media pages. Huh? That's what you do when you hate me. Ow, that kind of hurt, actually. So yes, I'll see you later on, every Monday. Every Monday. Remember that. All right, cut.